I'm going to tell the story about how I got a brand new Ridley Fenix SLiC for £250. Is it actually a true story? I'll jump straight in. Essentially, one day in 2023, for those of you who followed me from the beginning, I have had a old like a blue road bike that I got off of eBay, which is amazing, like 500 quid, great little starter bike. I'll post a little picture up of it. And I just happened to be going to a place called TriUK in a town that's quite away from me, but called Yeovil. And I was looking for a wetsuit. Little did I know that TriUK had recently been bought out by a company called Fraser's Group. So like Philip Green, the guy with the massive yacht that you see on the press at the time, they had bought TriUK. This is the good bit. I happened to go in there and got talking, and I was looking for a wetsuit. And the wetsuits were saying £650. I thought, God, that's a lot of money. Triathlon's expensive sport. And the guy goes to me, oh no, I think that's probably 50 quid. So he got his barcode scanner and went, doo-doo, 50 quid. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, all the stock in the store is surplus to the deal. We don't really need to make money on it. We just get rid of everything and then we'll put in new stuff because they're not focusing on triathlon stuff. I was like, what? So I got a few wetsuits and we're going around. I'm buying loads of other stuff like those tri bars and things like that. And I'm reselling them because I sort of got lots of things going on, but resell stuff. So I'm going through thinking, this is a good opportunity. God, I'm just landed here literally 4 days before they've closed the deal and no one really knows about it. It's not being put on the press. Yeovil's a bit of a dump and it's in like an industrial unit, massive place. A bit like, imagine like a Tesco's, but full of like triathlon stuff. We're walking around one day and I think I'd bought loads the first day. I thought, I've got to go back. And I bought a bike the first day thinking I'd sell it on, like a triathlon bike, like a Cannondale. And I think I paid I want to say it was like 600 quid. We're going back the next day. I'm thinking, well, I should just start buying more bikes. So I go back and I'm talking to one of the people helping out and we're walking around and this obviously got loads of bikes and there was this exact bike in the thing and he was going, oh my God, this is a hell of a deal, this thing. He goes, you won't believe it. This bike, as in talking about mine here, the frame was on sale before they bought it for 5,000 quid in the store. So just this frame piece. And I was like, you're joking. Obviously know nothing about bikes. So he gets it up online and shows me like on the Ridley configurator. And he goes, yeah, so we've recently built it in store. It says a full everything, the gearing, like the Di12 gearing. And that's like, at the time, it was like £2,000 for that on their configurator. And it had carbon wheels, but not these ones. And I was like, well, how much is it? And he goes, it is like 2,250 quid. Or it was like 2,500 might have been. And I said, well, I've bought loads of stuff. How about we do a deal or something like that? And he goes, oh, we'll do it for like 2,250. I was like, I'll buy it. And then, so really it has cost me at this point £2,250. And I thought, well, how can I get this bike? That's how I always look at stuff, for as close to nothing as possible. So I bought like 4 more Cannondale bikes for like 500. They're like small ones, so it wasn't very good. And essentially all I did was resell all the items I bought that day, over those few days in the store. And the profit, so after all of that, I think I made like 2,000 quid profit. And that paid, in theory, for the bike. So I had to spend a lot more. But in 3 weeks later, I sold all the stuff. And that meant my bike, this one, had technically only cost me 250 quid. The wheels I actually got from eBay for my old bike. I believe they're from my old bike. And they're prime, like all black. I think I paid, they were second hand. I think I paid like 520 quid for them, which I was well chuffed with. And they've been brilliant. I did also buy another set of full carbon wheels. What are they called? Bloody expensive wheels in TriUK that were going. And then I sold them way after, like 2 years later, because I was going to put them on here. They were good wheels, to be fair. But to be honest, I'm not a pro athlete. There's not much difference between me and those wheels, and they're great. I also bought some Continental like 5,000 GT tyres, which are great. And an addition, which I have done, is those tri-bars. So those tri-bars came from Ridley and I only put them on last year. So before Man Italy, I thought, do you know what? Everyone's harping on about these tri-bars and they're really good. I'll believe the thing and I'll buy some. They're a bloody game changer. The trouble is with this bike, because of the handlebars are like, I don't know what the technical term is, but they're flat essentially. So it's hard to get retrofit bars that will fit them because of the thing. Went online, read it, everything. Everyone's saying Ridley started to manufacture these. You can go to a UK dealer, so that's what I did, and I ordered a pair. and it was like 250 quid. It's a lot of money. And I think they're full. I don't know if they're carbon. Yes, I'm sure they're carbon. Certain of it, because that's why they're so expensive. I put them on before my Ironman Game Changer, and I tested it in the Ironman, and I sat upright as though I didn't have the bars on. And there's a 4 miles per hour difference between me being upright and being like leant over, which I thought was pretty cool. So I do rate those. I've also upgraded the water bottle things. They weren't on the bike, and nor were the pedals. Other than that, it came standard. So that's, I had loads of comments, I remember last ages ago, saying, how did you get the bike for 250 quid? Essentially, I was in the right place at the right time, and I was already into buying and selling stuff. Bought loads of stuff in the store that was going, and then resold it. And I was just there to get the bike. So wasn't planning to get the bike, got the bike, obviously well chuffed. I'll keep this for years now. For me, this is the perfect bike. I don't have any more bikes. I just have one. Some people have got TT bikes. I'm not at that level, and nor am I interested. I like that because I think, oh, that looks cool. I like the look of it. I just think it looks vibes. And she's light as a feather. I could show you probably. Look at that. Ooh. Brilliant. I don't actually know what the technical weight is for her. I wouldn't be able to tell you. But yeah, that is the story of how I bought a brand new Ridley Fenix SLiC for £250. For those of you who'd like to have a little closer look, these are essentially the tri-bars. Essentially, they're like hollow. They have a end cap there, an end cap now, and they're Velcro. And you have multiple stack from Ridley. You get more than comes with it, depending what height you want. And they literally just Allen key down. And they obviously didn't come with a bike, but that's what they look like. They're absolutely brilliant. I rate these a lot. I put the Garmin mount on, which comes underneath. Put your electric gears here. This is exactly as it comes. These are the prime wheels with the Continental GT, whatever they are, 1,000 things. All the cables go through the frame, which is partly what I love about this bike. This is a closer look at the carbon. They were actually off eBay, 35 quid. This is obviously the gearing. This is the 105. The pedals are full carbon. These are just standard Ultegra pedals. And obviously prime. This is the group set, the 105 Di12 group set. And there's a really cool things you can do on the app. So you can download the app and change how you do all of this. As you can see, my train's a bit rusty. This is the tread for the tires. I rate these tires massively, these Continental ones. You've got a carbon seat post, and this is a standard carbon seat. And I added that on, which is like putting a little bag on the back. But she is an absolute honey. Look at her. Beautiful little bike. I rate it massively. One thing about this bike I ought to mention, which is when you're traveling with it, I've borrowed my friend's, it's like a bag as opposed to a hard shell case. And I've flown abroad. I think I was in Mallorca last year. The issue is, even if you can put like a locker in here to stop the brakes going back. I don't know what happens when you fly, but essentially every single time these have twisted a little bit. So like that's twisted. And then this, obviously it's going right back now because it needs bleeding again, although it is working. Normally they go to like there, but they'll go all the way back and none of the brakes will work. So you've basically got to, when you arrive, you have to get them all rebled again. This is bloody annoying. So that is an issue. I don't know whether it's this bike or it's purely because I'm using like a soft case, even with lockers in. But everyone else I talk to doesn't have the issue. So just worth considering, I suppose. But if you are after a bike like this, I can't recommend it enough. Look at it. Beautiful little bike.